I have to come out and I have to address this elephant in the room, and it gives me something to do anyway. Uh, you know, I I've put my foot down at people in general because shit always happens when I'm never around. My wife asked me straight up last night, Derek, does anybody come up to you when I'm not around? What does she think the answer is? No. They don't offer me goddamn shit. Nothing. Nothing. They don't offer me nothing. I get lucky if our neighbor from down the road comes over here and takes us somewhere. But I don't get goddamn shit from nobody my age or younger. And I ain't talking about little kids. I'm just talking about the age of accountability up to somewhere in between. People that would know, people that would have something. I've never been a big component of friendship. I'm going to tell this right now. I hate it. I understand. Before anybody interrupts me, I understand that's the role that most people wants to play. And I got it. I had a few people. Back when I was in school up here, I only spent about 2 years in McDonald there, and I went to different schools there for a while. But almost all my school has been up here. Why do you think I don't go to things that people want me to go to? I've had to put up with and deal with people wanting me to do what they want all the time, whether it's family, on her side, my side, whatever. And I'm sick of doing it. I'm tired of looking at people's ugly faces. I'm tired of looking at their ugly kids. I'm tired of doing everything they want. I've had it. I'm old enough now. I've had it, you know? And no, it ain't me or my wife's fault that you people take it upon yourself to come out and want to start this friendship crap. But I understand that you all can't help yourself to just understand that I don't want friendship. If I wanted that, I could have everybody out here wanting that. And I understand, like I told my wife, I'm going to put this out there plain as day for everybody to know so you don't forget it, including her. I don't have a problem with somebody coming up to me or my wife. We had one a year ago. I called her the crack whore. Yeah, it wasn't a straight up, hey, I'm going to have sex with you tonight or a thing of that nature. It wasn't just a, hey, I'm going to hop on this train and just go full bore overboard, right? But the person actually talked to me. No matter what I think of her currently, she might have been a little screwed up in the head and she wasn't able to get over her stuff like I wanted her to. And yeah, she back-talked me and I back-talked her back. Because I don't like being run over. I won't let nobody run me over. As long as my heart's beating, my blood's pumping through my veins, and I got air left in me, that ain't never happened. So, friendship don't mean a goddamn thing to me. It's been gone for a long time with me. But if somebody came up to me and honestly had nobody else they were lusting after, and they wasn't out there wanting cards or or some type of money or a bank or something. Like it's goddamn fucking, I don't know if it's a fake Alexa Bliss or if it's the real one or what. I don't care. But I told my wife, I said, it's just a waste of everybody's time. I wouldn't care if a person came out here and looked almost just like her. But it would have to be somebody I could physically see, that she could physically see, and that we could get to know. And you say, well, so what? So somebody out there might say, well, what are you exactly saying? So you don't like friendship, but what? You like to, well, I would be okay with it, in case you didn't hear me. Well, I know I have to repeat things for people all the time. So, like I said, I can understand, like, to a degree, of going in a certain way with it, a certain speed. Like I said, you can't just bring somebody up here and then move them in and say, oh, they could say, oh, I met them off Facebook. I've seen this one on Facebook. We can't do that. See, and I have noticed that, and my wife, I have no doubt she's going to be, I ain't going to have to make her. She'll have to come out with it. She's got a little more favoritism than I do in some areas. And they, for some reason, want to come out and start all this BS. It's just like when I worked. I couldn't do my work. I was coming in there, trying to do my work, and every once in a while, I'd have somebody poke their head out and want to give me their number. And they'd have kids up their ass. They'd have a fucking husband to go home to. And I don't want to dig myself in couples bullshit. And like I said, the only exception to that rule is if it might be two nice women, me and my wife might be okay on that. But if we got along. But I'm not doing man and woman couples. I ain't doing guy couples. I just think it's the guy couple thing is just nasty as fuck. So anyway, I'm just not into it. I have had all my life. I've had little things here, little things there, but at the end of the day, it was best for me. And what I thought was best for me was to let it go. It serves me no purpose. I don't want to do things on a spare time basis because I either get a front. Somebody say, for example, oh, I'm going to this and I'm going to that, and do you want to come? And then they turn around, and as soon as somebody says something, either somebody they met a long time ago or a few years back before they met us, or a family member, one of their sexy sisters, or somebody's brother, or anybody could come out and just be out there just. That somebody they've known, they just put you on the back burner. You don't mean a damn thing to you. That's what you got to remember. My wife, I was telling her about what Stone Cold Steve Austin used to have on the back of his T-shirts. And if I can't sit your butt down here, and I can't see you eye to eye, nose to nose, and all that, face to face, if I can't do it the way I want to do it, I'm just telling my wife now, nothing's ever going to get done. Because it's got to be my way or the highway. I've been going down the highways a long time now. I've had to choose the highway more than once. And I'm telling you, until somebody does something right. Like I said earlier, I'm not above taking things slow a little bit. I, as a matter of fact, would prefer that it do that. But I want to feel like I can go up to somebody and give them a hug or kiss them on the cheek or something, and not be feeling like I'm held down and tied up and figuratively being run over by a freight train just because I don't want to do their way of just sitting there looking at them from a distance, and they're gonna pull one of these crack whore messes on me. They think they're going to. They got nothing coming. They won't be another one like that. So, I mean, I just tell my wife to be careful. I know that she and I want to do this unicorn bestie thing and wants it. I can't, the words can't express how bad we'd like to have this. But the problem is, everybody takes my words and tries to turn them out backwards. They try to make me sound bad. Oh, he don't want friendship. Oh, that's how it starts. Well, that's how any conversation starts. But if you get somebody who has nothing, no family, nothing to look to, there's people out there like that. I've dealt with one. I know. And all I'll say about that, that's the ones that won't pay attention to me. That's the ones that won't pay attention to my wife the best. Is there more out there like that? I'm sure they are. Are they easy to find? No. Everybody out here's got their fucking hands up somebody's ass. And I don't want to hear, oh, Derek, well, it's normal. Well, it does. It's normal for most people. But if there was somebody out there actually homeless, if she seen some girl out here and they didn't have nowhere to turn to, that's the kind that would want to work with the offer. I could visualize it right now. But I can't see having to try to get to know this person and their kids and all their family bullshit, those kind of people, and having 50 other people have to look at, stare at, trying to take your time out, trying to get to know somebody and how you going to fit here and how you going to do this. If I was dealing with one person and I was to tell them my life story, which wouldn't take me that long, I could see myself doing that for that person. And maybe one or two, if they didn't have 100 people up their butts, I could probably do that. Like I said, I am not the most easiest person to get along with by any means. I can be difficult if things ain't going the way I like for them to go. With people in general, because they're not my type of people. And they see things one way, I see it another. I don't like to clash kids, but y'all make me a lot of times. And you know who yins are out there. And whether you got a YouTube or not, some of these people out here on this thing probably could relate to this stuff a little bit. And I tell you, you just gotta you gotta do what I do, and you gotta say fuck them. You gotta go away. You gotta if you feel like you're not being treated right, and you're not being totally being honest with, and you're not being you can't start. I never want to put myself in a position where I'd go out here and play people and hand out my number to somebody, and then I'd go around and play them. That would make me look bad. It'd make me feel bad. In a way. I can't say that it would, make me cry a river of tears or whatever, but I would think logic being what I usually go by, and nobody's perfect, but if I would never turn my back on somebody that I had love for, that I cared for, that I really had this. Nobody was looking at nobody else. Nobody wasn't cheating on somebody else. Well, we got to go there. Because our bestie keep out there floating around trying to get everybody else's attention. It's got to be somebody that knows what they want. That's how I could begin to start to get in there. Then we could start. I mean, you don't have to be all, you don't have to go overboard with stuff, but a hug and a kiss on the cheek or something, and giving them a back rub to start with or something if they needed their, or their feet rubbed or something, or whatever. Nails painted. I told my wife, I said, I wouldn't mind doing some of these things. But, when you get a crack whore up here who wants to just be looked at, like we had happen to us, just wants to be looked at. Looked at. That's it. Nothing else. The only other time that she wanted something different besides being looked at, which I got tired of. You see how tired I get of that real quick. Well, she just come up one of her Steve Wilkos Maury moments, and whoever else has one of these silly talk shows, comes up with one of them moments, and that's the only time that anybody wants a hug. Well, I'm tired of that. I want somebody, for me and my wife, that can beat that. Is that person out here somewhere? Is that person at McDonald's, Hardee's, Pig? Where are they at? I don't know. All I can say is I try to tell my wife every day. She's been with me almost 11 years. And I think by now she should know I don't put my feet in something unless I know it's right. If I don't feel right about it and something don't click the way I want it to, I do away with it. I don't care how good you look. I don't care because like I said, I can't control it. It don't have my name on it. I didn't create it. I didn't have anything to do with it. So you can't come up in here claiming these are my presents or my wife's presents. If there are presents, our names will be stamped on them eventually. We'll have self-control. We'll be in that person's mind so much that any other person could walk up to them and they would have nothing to do with them except being courtesy. Saying stuff like I do when I go through the line at a grocery store somewhere. When I go through there, they might ask, how's your day? How was your week? Or you may get something like that, you say something short. And you cut it out. Afterwards, you don't go no further than that. My wife said, well, I said, other than those women at the dentist that do my freaking teeth, which they just hired a guy dentist, he wasn't too bad. But for the last 27 years, I've been going over there dating. And these women, they got their own lives to live. They like me, but they don't make me go to their house. They've never asked me to go anywhere. But they like me as just, for some reason they like me as a patient. I was there whenever the insurance came due, and they said, hey, he never gives us a problem, never, gives us any fit. He's one of the easiest patients to do. And I'm pretty tough, so it's just something there where they felt like, hey, he bonds pretty good, and they'll talk occasionally, and we'll say something about the Braves or the music or something. Have a subject, or sometimes they'll be talking about something, or sometimes they might say, hey, you doing all right? Just give us thumbs up, or move your hand, left hand, if something hurts, or whatever, that kind of thing. Well, you know me, I'll probably twitch before I actually raise my hand. That's kind of where they'll know, hey, is it hurting a little bit? Now I'll say, yeah, but it's fine. No big deal. But like I said, it's just, I can't bond with what people out here in this world wants. I can't have more than, I'll be lucky. My wife will be freaking lucky if we end up with something where we can feel like we could be ourselves and start out like we'd hoped to. And if she wants to get on here in a few minutes, say what she wants to say, she can do so. I just, I felt like this was something on my heart. I don't want her to misunderstand me or let someone else try to get in there. I ain't above doing the whole get to know you thing. But I have to know, and I have to feel in here that your eyes are on us, nobody else. That you ain't out there got some secret ex or something hanging around you, some freaking kids and other things of that nature, and 50 other people calling you, texting you, bugging your phone. I wouldn't care if it's 2 or 3 family members that just calling to check up on you or texting you. But I've seen people in stores and things like that where they just, and I've seen it out here. My wife's come home many times here in recent memory. Oh, they offered her, and that one of them was in there acting like it's playing slap ass or whatever it was. And then they come home. She comes home. My wife comes home, comes in here all excited. Oh, Derek, I had such a good time, and I listened to it, and I did. But oh, something changed when she walked through here, and something drastically changed. First of all, the person never showed up in here. I don't know how I'm going to start to get to know you if you don't show up. I can understand. Well, that's why we cut out the rides. That's why I cut them out. I can't trust you. I can't trust my wife to come in here and actually say that they have a person that I should get to know because they don't treat her right. They make her look bad. So anybody out there that, unless it's Hazel or somebody she knows, if it's somebody at that church or something, I say okay. But otherwise, if you're somebody, now when you say, Derek, how you go get to know somebody, how you and your wife will get to know somebody if you don't let them bring somebody home or something? Well, if they sit down there, because almost 90-something% of the time she's the one out doing some errand run or something or getting something at the store. Yeah. You can drag your goddamn ass up here. You feel like you want to get to know somebody, you do what I do, and I'll let you know if I want something to do with you. She ain't got to physically pull you. She ain't got to make you come. All you got to do is do it. I ain't bossing you or ain't telling you what to do. My wife ain't telling you what to do. But if you're going to do something, do it. I don't care if you got a 9-to-5 job. I don't care if you got 10 kids up your ass. I just don't want all the drama and all the extra BS with it. And I've said this, if something was going to work out like I wanted it to, I've got it painted. I've got a picture in my head. The same picture I had when I asked good Lord Almighty to bring my wife, and it took 1.5 years to do. I know. I've said this on videos. I've said this with my wife in here right now. Yeah, when I get right, I get a little louder than most people. But I tell you what, if you can't handle it, and you can't handle when I am being, my tone is my tone, people. So my wife's known me for 11 years. And I know I ain't the only man out there. And I know there's women that have a certain tone. So you got to handle me when I'm joking with you. And I don't joke like most people. Okay. So if I was to joke, I'm probably cracking up on somebody on TV, giving my expert opinion on them. I'm probably pulling out something that would make me laugh and make the person laugh in a way that they don't normally see most people do it. So if you like that, that gets you some points with me. If you like my music, there you go. There's a lot right there. And like I said, there'll be a couple times where somebody will meet somebody, not just me or my wife, but for anybody out there, there'll be a few times you have to say, well, they don't like this, but they like two or three things of mine, and then they're about equal, you know. Well, what you do, you just find a way to kind of compliment. Maybe you do something in a way with it. Like with my dad, I didn't like fishing, and I didn't take a fishing pole and go out there and go fishing, but I stood there and talked to him. And I just watched him, you know. I didn't participate in necessarily, but, you know, you just find ways to do something. So I'm not above going and getting to know you. But you got to loosen up. Y'all are too uptight. I've noticed that. And I can't help what you've been through. I can't help if you've been thrown through a plate glass window and set on fire, or if you've been raped, whatever's happened to you. I can't help you. And just because I ain't no shoes don't mean I don't know what I'm talking about. You all misunderstand that. And you say nobody judges anybody, everybody judges everybody. That's the truth. We judge everybody on their clothes, the way they look. I try not to worry about what color you are, because I don't believe in doing that. And I don't, you know, but as far as a certain type, the way I'd like for a lady to look, there's a certain catcher that everybody's eye catches somehow. That's how it starts. Usually, it's something on the outside that's just like something, a gleam. It ain't about, oh yeah, the boobs, the titties, or the ass, or whatever. No, there's usually something on someone's face, an eye, a twitch, a smile, or just a beaming of a personality just comes out of a person, and they just fall head over heels, and they like, the fact that we're the way we are, and they don't ask us to be anybody else but ourselves. And that don't work just for anybody. No, I'm not above being starting out like that, but I want the friendship thing to be something that's not just sitting here and watching movies and just you sitting in one corner, me and my wife just sitting somewhere far out, and us spread out like that. We like to be able to say we're trying to get to know somebody, and that they want to be, when we're watching a movie, for example, if they want, if we want to put our arms around you and have a thing like that, we could do so without feeling like, somebody's trying to, take us the wrong way or something. We want to be ourselves, and if I can't be myself and my wife can't feel comfortable around you, then we can't move. We can't begin to get in there. It's got to be somebody that's easygoing and not so uptight with all this drama on TV, and might be the politics or something on the news, or might be how you were raised. I mean, but I understand where she came from earlier, and I just want to put this out there. No, I'm not afraid to do what y'all want to do to start with, but I want it to be solely us to do it. And I don't want 10,000 other things going on, and it's going to put, because we don't know what we got left, and that's the thing. I keep stopping or starting and stopping all the time. And I want this to be done, but I want it to be done right. So if you're right, you will be able to be friends and be able to do things and do things as you want to do them. You don't have to, hey, give her the ring, give her this and do this right away. No, and you don't have to move in right away. We'd like to move out of here, but the thing is, I don't want to just throw my junk on you. I don't want to throw my wife's junk on you right away. I want to make that special. I want to make it a day where we go out on a dinner date, whoever our bestie would be, and it ain't like I said, it ain't after money. And if she paid for a dinner, then the next time we'll pay for it the next time or something. We'll figure it out. You know, love shouldn't cost money. It should not be about cards. Yes, you're going to pay to go somewhere. Yes, you're going to do things for those that you love and care for. But you don't make it about wanting money straight up for gas. We'd be nice enough to give you something like that if we knew you was and would surprise you with things like that. If we liked you, whoever that may be, whoever that lucky lady is out there, whatever color she is, and all that. But I don't get many people that likes the sports I do, or the TV shows that I was growing up with, or the music I like. There's a lot, you know, and I'm handicapped. My wife's handicapped. We've put this out here many a time, but it's was kind of laid on my heart this morning. So when one of these morons out there, when these other women try to tell her that I'm not doing something right, and then they're thinking I'm just wanting to get in their pants or whatever all the time. Yeah, if after we got to know you or something, eventually you want to go down that road and you want to have a little fun adult time, something like that later on, okay. But it don't have to be about that right away. I just want somebody that I could say, "Hey, I've looked at them. I know their purpose. I know what they want. They know what they want. Nobody's sitting here hiding anything. We ain't out, got to worry about somebody stealing things out of the store or acting up, wanting pills, and the whole 9 yards. I mean, if you got a bad pass, on up to it. If you want to talk about it, let's talk about it and say what we got to say about it and move on. I don't care to listen. I just don't want to be beat over the head with it 10,000 times. And where it gets to be a every other day thing or whatever, I don't mind to talk about it anytime. But when it gets when somebody bucks on me, trying to tell me what their version of things are, and I get it. Everybody's different. It's what makes us all that much better. Because if everybody liked me and everybody liked my wife and everybody just liked everything, we'd all be in trouble. We couldn't have the money to afford the thing that we wanted, and we couldn't, if we had everybody else to have to care for. That's the thing. We know it's going to be about money. So, that's what I'm saying. I know all this. But anyway, here she is. I'm going to let her take over for a few minutes. I'm going to eat.
Good morning, everybody. I'm tired of this bullshit. I'm ready to give it up. If you guys don't come to the store by today, I'm giving it up. I'm tired of freaking bullshit. I'm not out there in Meigs County trying to get attention. I'm trying to get my house stuff done. I'm trying to help my husband get his medicine. I'm trying to take him to his doctor appointments. I'm trying to take him to his dentist appointments. I'm trying to get everything done, and it's stressing me out. You guys are stressing me out. It's not my husband. It's y'all. It's not him that's stressing me out. It's y'all. I wonder why I collect baby dolls because that's the only thing that keeps me going, and my husband keeps me going. I have anxiety. I have depression. I have bipolar disorder. But my husband said, he got to know me from Hawaii. He said there ain't nobody that he's met but me and Connie that has a good head on our shoulders. That come from that sin. We didn't need the medicine. We didn't need the counseling. We do things on our own. Yeah, Connie overdosed on her medicine, but she was stressing out. She told me she was stressed about my family issues. She was going through the same thing I was going through. She talked a little bit about Derek, how they met, and I was happy that Derek met her before me. That's wonderful. He got to go to the fair with her and her mom, and he was explaining that. I'm not a jealous kind of type girl. I wasn't raised to be jealous. I was raised to be a Christian and go to church and be nice to females, be nice to men, in my family. I didn't go up there and, well, I did explore a little bit before I met my husband. I was in a lot of relationships, but I wanted to see how they went. But if I didn't like it, I got myself out of it because I didn't want to be down anymore. I was pushed around and made fun of, and I was made fun of in school, and I was pushed around in school. I had my bestie, like my husband said, I had Brittany Benner at the time. I could tell her anything. I can go and talk to her if something was wrong. I could call her and she wouldn't yell and scream at me or cuss at me. I can go do things with her and her and her mom Stacy and her brother Tommy and her dad. Her dad adored me. Her dad really adored me. And his name was Tom. And yes, I was with a abusive guy in the past, and I got out of that because I didn't want him putting his hands on me no more. I had to get out. I had to get straight out of it because I couldn't take no more. And then I moved up here with my mom in July of 2010. When I moved up here. 2010, I moved up here with my mom on July 4th because I remember it was 4th of July. And then my mom locked me up in the shed and lied on me and put me in a mental hospital for 5 months. And yes, I straightened. She said I was trouble, but I was a good child. My dad tried to tell her several times I was a good child. My dad said I didn't deserve that. That's why my dad took me in and put me through high school and got me to graduate. He pushed me all the way. He would help me with my homework when I had trouble or if I needed help with mathematics. He would stay up with me and watch wrestling, race car. We would watch race car driving. I was raised to be a tomboy. I used to climb trees and I was a cheerleader in high school. I was in sports. I was in basketball, softball, soccer, dodgeball. I had PE. Yes, I traveled like my husband said. I traveled to different states before I got with him. And yes, I loved it at the time. I was just a baby, I just enjoyed, going on car rides. I enjoyed getting out. But I was just a baby at the time. I didn't know no difference. Like my papa said, I'm all grown. They see my papa explained the other day to me. He said he wasn't trying to be mean. He said, when you come an adult, when you're not underneath our roof anymore at 18, we had to let you be an adult. We had to let you move on. We didn't want you to be. They said they didn't want me to whip their ass.
That's not what they showed me.
And my mom wanted me to be an adult. She didn't want me going through what she went through. She's been abused when she was married. She's been abused by my dad. She explained that to me, and I felt bad for my mama because I was just a baby. They fussed and fought, but they still love each other. They still tell me that today. Now my mom said she would always love my dad. Yes, my dad was on drugs, and but my mom knows. She said she will always love my dad, no matter what, because they've been married for so long. But I just want a unicorn baby that'll take good care of me and love me, and like my husband said, I can be able to wrap my arms around you and kiss you and say good night, say good morning, smile to you, go out, have fun. I'll even take you up for dinner, like my husband said. We'll take you up for dinner. I'll pay for each other's meals. You pay one time, and we'll pay another time. I want to go to the park and swing with you. Go on swings. Go play on the playground. Go play basketball. Something I can do. Yes, I have bad knees, but that don't mean I can't do something. Or he can't do something. Yes, he has cerebral palsy, but I still love him because that's what marriage is. Marriage is a bond. Because you have fusses and ups and downs, don't mean you don't love each other. You just got, like my papa said, when you have a fussy, like him and my mama fought all the time. They said they sit down and they talk it out, and they're fine afterwards. And that's how he's trying to teach me. My papa was trying to teach me, how to be an adult. Go live out in the real world. He wants me to explore things. But he just don't want to be up. See, my papa said he don't want to be up my ass all the time. He don't want that from me. Yes, he said he can help me sometimes, but he can't do it all the time. I got to do it on my own. And I got to be an adult, and I understand that. They don't want to do things with me. They work all the time. They got kids up. They got kids now. I used to, yes, they didn't have kids in the past. But my son was, pregnant with Hunter and Colton. And they got me into VeggieTales and all that. But, my childhood wasn't very good. But, yes, I got disciplined when I run in the house, or if I screamed, or if I didn't do what my dad said, yes, I would get my butt busted. And I learned from having my butt busted. I learned. I got grounded when I did something wrong. I deserved that. You gotta learn from being disciplined. Like my dad would put me in the corner if I didn't listen, or my mom would hit me with her hand if I didn't listen to her. That's discipline. Every kid deserves a discipline if they're being bad. Like my husband said, every kid needs to learn. They can't be running in the house and screaming and getting on his nerves. And if we move somewhere and they have a yard, yeah, you can go outside and run until you get tired. Until you get tired out and come in and you can watch TV and fall asleep. But here you go.
Well, there's a lot there to get to. No, like I said, my wife, she wanted, for some reason, she won't, and I get it. Everybody does it, but I don't like to get involved. If I knowed her family was such an uptight bunch and had all these goddamn kids, that's why I couldn't do nothing. I couldn't do nothing because all that shit was already sitting in the way. All these other guys hanging around and all this other bullshit. I told my wife, I said, you know what's funny? If you minus them fucking goddamn ugly men and them fucking kids, you wouldn't have had much there to have to deal with. I mean, I wouldn't have cared if they was just one couple or something like her mama and them. But my God, when you go to one of these damn gatherings and you invite me, I don't know why. Well, they invite me and then we just Derek, and this is something, like I said, oh, Derek, I forgot. That's just what they do now. They show out, they act up, they're on their phones, they're tweeting, and they're doing that. They ain't worried about a goddamn gathering. If it saved them to live another day, they ain't worried about it. They wouldn't stop. They had to do that, and they also had to make sure that they hated my music. Oh, Derek, I was told, oh, Derek, they liked your stuff. and all this stuff. Yeah, they liked it when they first heard it. But they ain't like me. They don't. Oh, I don't want to keep that around. Or oh, I just want to toot one person's horn. I just want to say, oh, I just like one thing and that's it, or whatever. And I spoke up inside the car at one time, and I said, well, I like a lot of things. I don't just like one certain person, Johnny Cash. God's sake. I don't listen to one certain person. It would get boring. I couldn't just listen to one woman, one group, and say, hey, Drake, that's going to last him forever, right? That does not work. I don't care how you feel about ABBA. For the longest time, I'll explain. There was a time when I first heard their music, I went months. I liked everything. All their music is good, but you don't, and I mixed it in there. But I don't just listen to one certain person's music all the time and never listen to nothing else. If I had to be raised up around just gospel music, I'd drive myself crazy because it wouldn't be what I would want to do. I have to have a flavor. When I'm in a mood, I like a good mood. I like all kinds of stuff, all kinds of music. But no, everything that my wife talked about on here and all that stuff, she could have brought some of that stuff down here if she would have been able to. But maybe situations and circumstances didn't allow her to. Maybe there was things that, so you have to move on. You had no option. You had no choice. I mean, it is what it is. I'm just saying, I'm going to give you a little time. But I just mainly want to come out and I wanted her to know that no, I'm not going to we're not going to tie the knot with our bestie right away. And we won't have to do anything that's against the law. We're going to do the thing that we said we would do. And I put out here before, I said, we'll have our own little private thing where it's me, you, and my wife or something. And maybe if there's somebody said, hey, I kind of want to be a part of something like, if you had somebody that you knew is real good and there was a real big support, maybe you could bring that one along or something. But, a tight-knit group of people. Ain't going to be 100 or 200 people. But I want to make it special. So I think right there it tells you that's friendship. What kind of friendship depends on how you define friendship. Some, like a crack whore, like to do it her way. She like to toot her horn about her past, run me bananas. But yet she'd go out there, put on a front for my wife for less than 5 minutes. My wife wasted a goddamn phone call on her goddamn ass. And yes, my wife didn't know. She forgot a few things. She forgot that there was kids involved in shit. And that's all right. Sometimes you forget that stuff, I guess, and if you don't talk to them on a regular basis and they don't make it their business to do that to you, that's why I say, why are you accepting friend requests that you don't need to accept? If you're going to accept a friend request on any social media sites, you need to be serious. I don't care if it was sent to my wife or my wife sent it to you and she just had a gut feeling. I don't normally send out things. Usually I get them the other way around. But no, I don't. I try to be nice to everybody. But again, I can't tell you whether or not I'm going to be able to be nice continually. Friendship's whatever you make it. If you want an uptight relationship, friendship thing to start with, then I'm out. But if you're one of them nice and you like compliments, sweetheart, and you're just the easygoing type person and you're like the way we described earlier, I wouldn't care. Because any kind of thing is a start. but I don't want something that me or my wife's going to look at each other and say, something ain't right here. No, you ain't getting to move in straight away. And there's going to be things that's going to have to be talked about that we learned from the crack whore. We're going to have to go over a few things. If your eyes and your heart and everything about you, if you're that lady out there in your mid-20s, 30s, something, and you're out here somewhere beyond these walls, when my wife gets out and wants to go for one of her long walks, I don't care if she walks to China and back. I know she ain't, I'm just saying. But if she wants to go for a long walk, she knows she can go for a long walk. If she wants to just walk around the block, if there's somebody comes out and it wasn't her call, if she don't think it's right and it don't feel right, she just needs to tell them. So what, you hurt their feelings. If it don't feel right to you and you don't feel right about it, it don't feel like it's going to go anywhere, tell them. I've hurt people's feelings a lot. It ain't about kissing everybody's ass and trying to make peace with everybody. You're not going to be able to do that. It's not possible at all. You're going to have a few people, like this bestie, this female bestie, whoever she is out there. She had a couple people that was a tight-knit group of hers, and they could get along with me. And if they didn't think that, if they want, like I said, but you know, maybe they do, but maybe they don't want me forced, or my wife forced on them. Maybe, you know, like I said, it'd be better if they try to get to know me first, and my wife, all three of us. Hide it a little while. It ain't gonna hurt nothing. Hide it a little bit. So what? You know, it'd be better. It'd be easier. It'd be simpler. I really don't want kids around unless it's something that I know that are of my own doings or something. I've learned because I can't have kids around. They are a nuisance to me, and most of them are. I've had very few in my lifetime where I was able to feel like I could be myself around them and play with them and do things with them and make them happy and all that. But a lot of them comes out and they just want to run around in the house and act like a jackass on purpose and all that. So yeah, there is some things I can do, but if I can't be myself, I can't do my wife any good, and vice versa. So no. Anybody out here, I don't care what restaurant you work at, the local thing down here, whatever the name of it is. I didn't say you couldn't talk to my wife, but I'm just saying me and my wife are going to have certain standards. And if you hand your number out right away and you didn't get to talk to her and you didn't really get nothing much out, is that mine or my wife's fault? No. That's your fault. Now, if you want to really get to know something, you got to make time. It wouldn't take her 2 minutes to tell you, hey, if you want to continue this conversation, we can either wait till I come back down and we talk about something else, or we're out. She's about out every other day or whenever she feels up to going out on one of these walks. I've explained why I don't normally go and everything because it's much tougher on me and my feet, my 1 foot over here, a drag, trying to save on the shoes. Sometimes I have a habit, it drags a little bit, but I try, you know, the less I get out, the better it is, so I don't mess up the shoes. I got to go get some play shoes. But, you know, it's just like I said. I want somebody that we could feel absolutely 100% confident, and that we could be ourselves, and they could be themselves, and they could be our own. Kind of like an adopted daughter type thing, a family type thing. And like I said, I ain't above doing the whole thing like I said earlier on the video. But you need to get to know somebody before you start doing all kinds of that other stuff and going the extra mile on some things, regardless of what you like to do. Like I said, the act of a lot of this stuff is, the extra kind of making out, loving things. Everybody likes it till the action causes a consequence. And then you get like people like in crack whores. They start, it ain't so funny when you have something you made that you have to take that extra time out for. Well, like I said, and I told my wife this earlier before I got on the video, had we known that, I would have left her ass out on the street. I would have took no chances. She wasn't homeless, by the way. She lied about a lot of things. All you'd have to do is sit here and pick it apart. You'd find about 10 different things she probably lied on. Yeah, there was a lot of truth to what she was saying too. Wasn't all lies. But we want somebody that can beat that. If you ain't going to be truthful, like I've said before, if you can do it for your own parents that gave you birth, if you can do it for a pastor, if you can do it for a boss at work, and God knows you probably don't know who you're working for, and they don't know you. But the only thing you got to do is do your work and get out. If my wife today went down the road and went out and got something, or wanted to get me something, a pair of shoes, you damn right, I'll let her go do that. She's allowed to talk to the person she wants to talk to. She don't like talking to men much, but if there's some nice one out there that stuck her neck out there, and they said, hey, I ain't got nothing to tie me down except for what I got as a job. I get off at 3 or 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I'll swing by your house after work, and I'll be glad to come over there. Now you say, Derek, what if it don't happen? Well, if it don't happen, don't worry about it. Whoever this person is out there, they know who they are. They might live out here in Decatur. They might be from Athens. They might be from Chattanooga. They might be from Cleveland. But yeah, they may be up here on a trip, a spare trip or something. They may have had to come up here. Or like I said, it's one of these that probably work at one of these restaurants out here. So if you're that person, my wife knows 100% certain I've explained it, how I want things to go and what my version of friendship is. Like I said, it's different for everybody. Some just wants to sit there and look at the TV like the crack whore did. She just wants to look at the TV with full of all these movies. She don't want to be loved on. She don't want to be hugged. She don't want to kiss on the cheek. She don't want you to give her a massage. She don't want nothing. She just wants to be stuck up. She ain't happy. I don't want that. I didn't bargain for that. I know there was some mistakes made, and I ain't going to claim that, you're our present or gift or whatever. I don't want to do that. I'll know in time. My wife will know in time. If it just happens to be on a special day, let it be. Like the old song that the Beatles have, let it be. Whatever it is. I mean, if you just are that good that you just fall head over heels and you just come out wanting a hug and all that, I'll do it. My wife would probably do it. I just, like I said, I want the person to be the way I would want to be to them. I want to show you respect. I want my wife to be able to show you respect. But you got to have it in you to do so. Nobody else can be put over me and my wife, with the exception of whoever you got as a social circle and they're that good of people. I would understand you would want them included in there as well. But I don't want to be playing second fiddle or my wife playing second fiddle to somebody else's crap. If you already got something going, just tell us and we'll stop. Okay, it ain't the first time this has happened. You know what I'm saying? And I wouldn't care if somebody out here heard this video and said, hey, I fit what they're looking for. I know I could do it. Then come on. We live in Decatur, Tennessee. Like I said, it's not that hard. We live out on Goodfield Road. Our driveway going up, it's 182 Brown Street. So, you know what I'm saying? We live next to a country church, 5 Point Baptist Church. We've got apartments out here right next to us called Stevenson Square Apartments. So, like I said, we're not that hard to find. We're just not going to do cards and stuff and pay for people's rides and all that crap. I believe it when I see somebody in front of me. I operate better when I can see it in front of me, when I ain't sitting behind a phone or some type of device trying to talk to these people and my wife, or I wasting our energy on texting you people. And we don't know if you're the real person or you're just somebody putting on. At least if I see you in person and my wife sees you in person, then we can go from there. They won't be have to worry about whether you're real or fake or what. Because we'll see you in front of us. Whether that's today, tomorrow, next week, whatever. The door's open. And you'll know who you are because you'll have want this. This ain't for just any old person that she sees out there, a youngin' out there. Of course, their feelings might have been hurt because they didn't understand it. My wife can better educate what I was trying to get through and the message I'm trying to send. I ain't above doing the friendship thing, but I want me and her to feel comfortable. Like if me and her wants to give you a hug or just wants to give you a little extra something that most friends wouldn't have done when they start out. You know, if you're uncomfortable, you make me uncomfortable. And like I said, my wife can't control what's happened to you. You just got to do the right thing, accept it, and go on. But if you can't do that, I can't help you. My wife can't help you. We as a couple can't help you. But we want something to last for a lifetime. If we've got 30, 40 years, I don't care what's left. But every day that goes by and every hour that ticks by is another bit that we don't get back, and we don't get to have this. So I'm not giving 100% promise that there's something out there, but maybe there is somebody at that McDonald's restaurant down here in Decatur or some other place. I didn't say she couldn't be friends with them. I just said I don't want this part-time BS playing. I want something real and legit. And I want them to know that where I want it to lead to. And where my wife wants it to lead to. I don't want just a regular friendship. Just where, they just come by and do one thing at the park for an hour, and they take you home, and then the next time you meet up might be a month from now, 2 or 3 months from now, next year, or whatever. I want to build on this thing. And the ultimate goal is to give you this ring out here. And, here it is. Gives you this right here and got some other neat little things for you. Here at the house. I said I'm not going to throw it all on you at one time. I ain't going to do what we did a year ago. We're going to have to get to know you inside and out, and depending on how you come out with it, and how fast and how good you are, and how you're good, how your first impression is. You know, if your impressions are good and they're heartfelt, and you feel it in your heart, I don't mind you cry in front of me or my wife. If you have a deep something in you, you just have to come out with it. We'll be right there to give you some comfort or something, whatever you need. And I can understand if somebody really had a heart for handicapped people and understood that we didn't have a car, didn't have a job right now, and understood what it's like. You have to be in the handicapped person's shoes sometimes to understand them, or have been around handicapped people, or just have a good heart. You don't necessarily have to be in the shoes, as I've explained, but you have to be willing to understand there's different versions of different types of people. There's kids out there right now on TV wanting you to donate to hospitals, St. Jude, and all this other stuff. I told my wife that stuff's good to donate to, but a lot of times they bug the fool out of you, and the price keeps going up, or something happens, and over time they just start. I feel bad for the kids, but every time I see one of those commercials or one of those WWF commercials, the World Wildlife Fund. I tell my wife, because I belonged to a music club one time, and they after 1 year they started trying to mess with me. Started trying to make me pay for the same shipment twice when I already paid for it the first time, and it started messing around. So I had to cut them out. That's funny. I've lived here 11 years and ain't got offered one of those things that come in my mailbox. I was sitting there minding my own business on my birthday. I can't remember what year it was, probably 2000 something. 2000, probably 2, 3, something, maybe 4, 5, 6. I don't know. It's before I moved out, but yeah, that whole year it was okay till about the last day of it, and toward about the last week, it got to where it got pretty bad, and so they settled with us, and we got to keep the second shipment on them, and we told them I'd quit the club, so I did. But yeah, I just want to kind of come out here and explain what it is that me and my wife meant by friendship. And we just don't want to just feel like we're just some outside dish, some side dish thing. We want to be around you. We want to be able to look at you and be able to comfort you and hold you and show you something that nobody else would be able to do. And you would already want that kind of stuff, and you want to be cared for and all that good stuff. But anyway, just wanted to kind of come out and explain what I was trying to get through, so there ain't no future misunderstandings. Because this morning my wife kind of had some concerns, and I thought it was, and I don't want to make anybody upset. Don't want to make anybody cry at their workplace. So, but if it was somebody down there at one of these places, she could better explain it now, because I've explained it. And she's explained her portion of things she wanted to get out earlier. So if you're okay with us, and there's somebody out there, she walks, and I don't mind her bringing them home, but I want her to know I don't want her to feel like she's forced to do it, or that these people out here are forced to do it. That's why we've cut things down. If somebody sit there for 20, 25 minutes, got a lot out of my wife, and they got a lot out, and they covered most of the important things, or almost all of it. And they said, "Hey, can I give you a ride home?" It depends on how she takes it. It's up to her if she feels that connection, and you're not going to just play her. You know, if she asked you, said, "Hey, if I did take this number home, you wouldn't mind if I, because she always brings me up. That's another thing. She says, Derek, every time I meet somebody, I always tell them about you. Well, you got to know in your heart how they take to me. Might not be there at the moment, but if they show action, like that song says, a lot less talking and a lot more action. Well, if the action, after they talk to you, if the action comes with it, you'll know that you got something. That's how you'll know. When you call somebody, they won't be offended. They won't sound like that woman did the other day, give out a number. I cussed that woman out. I had her in the voicemail. It went to voicemail. I gave her downhill. I said, I don't want to ever catch you picking nobody else up, not my wife or anybody else. I said, keep your mind on whatever you got going. She had another fucking girlfriend or something she was hanging around. Didn't want to tell my wife about. She's trying to tell my wife, "Oh, I'm just doing this. I'm by myself and all that stuff." If you got girlfriends and all that stuff that you like doing, do that, please. But like I said, if you got a bestie or something, and they're nice enough, like Kerry Walker's bestie was, and they were good, like they were. At one time, we had something off of the internet. Okay, but I'd prefer to meet somebody in person, so it probably will have to be somebody out here. And but by the way, we'll just have to take things as it comes and as it goes. But anyway, just want to kind of come out and get our stuff out of the way, and anyway, I'm gonna end the video now. But anyway, I hope all the subscribers are having a good day. Bye.